Welcome to Downtown with Tina, and I'm your host, Tina Thompson. Always excited to have new folks on the show, which I do have coming up here. However, I do have a gal who she's been on with me before. Her name is Kristin Moody, and she's one of those folks that I was telling her before we got started that I could ask her what's new, but I know there's always something new with Kristin Moody because you just have a passion for life, Christa, and I know you have a passion for what we're going to talk about today. We have a most beautiful and gorgeous downtown Lancaster, and it is continuing to just get better and better and better, and I've got goosebumps talking about it because I can see the passion, and you're talking with Jason Annecy. He happens to be the artist of the Art and Craftsman Company, and he is here because he and you have been working together. I know we talked a little bit about a project that you, as you just became past president of the Lancaster Sherman Rotary of Lancaster, and it was a project that you had in mind. Let's talk about that. Why did you want to do what you're doing with the Center Alley in Lancaster?
Thank you for having us this morning. I love our downtown area. I have always loved this area. I have such a passion to be there. And when I took the role as president of Lancaster Sherman Rotary Club, part of that role is to choose a community project. Lancaster Sherman Rotary has made such a footprint in Center Alley already with the lighting, the umbrellas, the arch that's there, the tables, the planters, and I knew I wanted to add to that. I had the idea of a mural, and I looked at those walls and I thought, oh man, that would be fabulous. So my dear friend, Amanda Everett, I told her about it, and she says, I know an artist. And I said, great. So Jason at the time was working on the Veterans Wall at the Amstutz building. So I stopped one day and introduced myself and told him about my project. And we got together a little later as my presidency drew nearer. And we started talking about it. So we put together a team of local people. Laura Tussing, Park Bank, Matt Brady Provisions, Amanda, Destination Downtown, Keith Yates Painting, Jason, and myself. We asked Jason to bring together 7 different ideas about a mural that we could do, and he brought the ideas to us. And when he showed us the Fran Taylor Gayfan, boom, we all were in 100%, no question.
And did you want to add more? Because I was going to move on right to Jason.
Let's just move on to Jason.
I was like, this is the perfect
let's move on to Jason.
To go right on. Because with that being said, oh my goodness, so you came up with several ideas. Did you know already in your heart, Jason, that you thought you knew maybe what they were going to choose, or did you go in completely open-minded? Or let me rephrase that. Did you have a favorite of those 7?
I did have a favorite. Admittedly, I did have a favorite, but I always like to really have a clear intention around what is it that we're trying to create. As we had even talked about that particular alley, there's a lot of young people that come in there. They're taking selfies, they're taking their senior photos.
Yes.
So we thought, well, how can we make this an even better space for them? There's also a lot of visitors that come into town, so we thought, okay, what is it that we can do? At the same time, I was thinking, this is a historic downtown, and I do love that downtown so much. What can we do to also honor the legacy of this downtown that we've inherited as residents? So in the 7 concepts, they were all about our history. And they really spanned what you would call more traditional painting styles all the way into something that would be more contemporary. Gayfan Studios, though, was the one that I believed in the most, just because that the story itself is so inspiring, and that was ultimately what everyone, as part of this collaboration, they just latched onto it right away because they just really liked it. For
those who have absolutely no idea of what the history is of Gayfan Studios, can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Gayfan Studios existed from 1939 to 1963. It was started by Fran Taylor in 1939, where she invested $30 of her own money as a way to start the company. She actually began by hand painting floral designs on metal waste paper baskets, but then when World War II hit, she couldn't get access to metal. From there, she ended up switching over to purchasing glassware and hand painting designs on glassware. She was up in Michigan, and she decided to actually move down to Lancaster so that she would be able to be close to her supplier, Anchor Hocking.
Yep.
And so she came here in 1945 and ended up starting the company. I shouldn't say starting the company, but continuing the company and its rise to fame. She literally created a company that was a multi-million-dollar company. It was internationally distributed as far as those products. She had a showroom in New York City on Fifth Avenue, employed about 100 employees, and even some fun facts are she designed her own 45,000 square foot headquarters. So her talents are really just endless. And especially if you think of the fact of a woman CEO at that time period.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
What an
Exactly.
inspiration.
Exactly.
It's really an incredible story. And so we want those murals to pay tribute to Fran Taylor, as well as everyone that contributed to that incredible era in Lancaster's history.
How did you come up with the designs of what these murals are going to be?
So it was a lot of research. Thankfully, because of Joyce Harvey, local historian, in addition to Donna McGrady and Kitty Hansen, Donna and Kitty ended up compiling 2 fantastic books that pull together so much history. And the murals are actually reviving the patterns that once existed on the glassware itself. So as people come into the alley, what they will see are 2 different murals that at first glance, they're just going to see wonderful colors, these engaging patterns and everything. And then beyond that, they're going to learn about this really incredible story.
And you're you said you're combining of that together, like to make it what it has become.
Yes.
Or becoming, I should say, because it's not quite done yet.
Yeah, because it's in process.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you'll see is on the provision side, the mural is about 10 feet high and 96 feet long. On that particular side, you're going to see the brightest of the brightest colors because we loved it, and you'll just see a lot of patterns across the entire that side in itself. A lot of repeating patterns. So think of like a pattern that it might be triangles that repeat over time or something of that nature. On the other side, which is the Park Bank National side, it's a totally different shape, but it's even more visible from the street. Okay. So it's the full height of the Park National Bank. It's around 30 to 32 feet high and about 20 feet wide. And that particular one, I wanted to pull from all of the astrobursts, like that classic mid-century astroburst that were shown on so many different designs that she created. And it's just going to be astrobursts everywhere. So it's going to be really fun.
How many hours is this going to end up taking overall when you are finished? And when do you think you'll be finished?
Yeah. So there was a lot of I want to give credit to the year's worth of work, because there was a year's worth of conversations, research, trying to connect the dots to make sure that we were being as accurate as possible. We had lots of meetings about schedules and trying to coordinate things. And then once we got started on the mural itself, we're currently about 2 weeks in, but we've accomplished a lot. Total, though, we are looking at probably full completion in August, because we have to work around what's going to be good weather. Right, like that's a big part of it. And work schedules and everything else. So we're just delighted to be able to produce this for the city and their residents.
I'm very excited.
And I would like to say we are having a grand opening.
That was going to be my yes. You got it, good girl.
It's Friday, July 16th at 5 o'clock. The mayor's going to cut the ribbon for us. The mural will not be complete, but we will have as much done as we can get done, weather permitting, of course.
I love it. Christa, it's one of those things I say after having somebody on for the 3rd time as a guest, they know they can read my mind. I don't know if it scares me or scares them, whichever it is. So one more question I did want to ask you. So if somebody is interested in finding out more about Gayfan Studios and Fran Taylor, where can they find that?
Yeah, so there's a few different places. One would be on Facebook. We've created a Gayfan Studios page. It's a fan page. So if you want to know about the mural's progress, if you want to know about Fran Taylor or Gayfan Studios history, or also events, so like the dedication, things like that, all of that will be shared there. So I highly encourage go to the Gayfan Studios Facebook page. In addition, though, we've also been working with the Glass Museum. And so for those that are interested to actually see glasses from Gayfan Studios and read more about the history, you can head right across the street, super convenient. Go to the Glass Museum, see some of the glasses themselves, but we will also have a small display at Park National Bank as well.
Beautiful.
And we are going to be in the alley, the Night of Art Walk.
Perfect.
We'll answer questions and kind of show off the designs a little bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Can folks still walk through the alley right now?
Absolutely.
I do know just so they can to catch and see what's going on in the process of all of it. Anything else to add, Christa, before we go?
No.
Nope, we're good.
That's
I want to thank you, Kristin Moody. She is past president of Lancaster Sherman Rotary, and they are working on a project. You heard her. It'll be done hopefully by August August. You'll have to look for it. Follow that fan page. Jason Annecy with me. He is the artist of the Art and Craftsman Company. I want to thank you both so much. What a great job.
Thank
Kudos to you. And
us.
she's going to be back, folks, because she's going to have something new going on again before we know it. She's always got multiple things. But yeah, I still got to get her on to bring me a pie. We'll talk about cooking and baking or whatever. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We will do that.
We will. We were going to do it. You heard her. Folks, I'll be back. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I have got with me for the very first time, it's not the first time that I've had somebody from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department, but I have a couple of fellows who are here to talk to me about an event that is coming up. Not just one event. One event is a huge event they had a couple of years ago, but last year, of course, like everything else, they didn't have it. So I have a feeling it's going to be a huge teen night event. It is a pool party. It's going to take place at Miller Pool. But first, we're going to go ahead and talk with Sargent Castle. He is the Community Policing Supervisor for the Fairfield County Sheriff's Department. And then we're going to talk to Deputy Roberts. He's the School Resource Officer, and he's going to share with us, because they both have events, but they're a little bit different, but they are both very involved, of course, with one another being under the same department. So we're going to talk with you, Sargent Castle. So what is it exactly you do in your job when it comes to the community?
I am in charge of the community policing aspect of the Sheriff's Office, and I'm also in charge of the school resource officers, but my main job is to do community policing. It's a proactive form of law enforcement in the community, and we do unarmed self-defense classes, we do active shooter classes for businesses, Boy Scout training, anything that the community needs or wants is what we do.
What are some of the things that you do every year that's like an ongoing?
The Sweet Corn Festival, except for last year, obviously.
Yeah.
The Fairfield County Fair, and again, every year we have self-defense classes that we do. We have a big one coming up in August, but the date and the place is not set yet, but there should be 200 female juveniles with their parents there, so that's going to be a big deal.
Nice, yes, and I have a contact with somebody I think that's involved with that we're going to have her on to talk a little more about that, so I'm looking forward to that. We have more to come on that one.
Yes.
Yeah. What else? You've got your tent at the Fairfield County Fair, and what do you guys do? What is your purpose and mission for being at the fair when it comes to the tent and
just
stuff?
let the community know that we're here for them, we serve them, and that's our job, and we pride ourselves on our integrity and our community relations, and that builds a strong sheriff's office for the community.
Absolutely, perfect. Okay, so Deputy Roberts, your school resource officer, what is it that you do in your job?
I'm at the Lancaster City Schools. I try to keep the schools safe as possible. Try to keep a good rapport with the kids, because we have noticed some of the kids, they've fallen away. They don't want to, some just don't like law enforcement, they don't like authority. So we're trying to show the kids that we're just like they are.
Yes.
And and that we have a job to do, and
You're
we're
there
here
for
for their
them.
protection.
I think that goes with something, and I've heard this, where parents will be like, oh no, there's a cop. Oh no, there's a sheriff. Oh no, there's a, you know, and kids automatically don't know that you're not there to run from you.
Right.
You're there to protect them and to
Correct.
keep them
Right.
safe. But they just don't always know in their head, and so I'm sure that's what it is you're just trying to build that relationship with them to know that that's what you are. You can be somebody that they come and talk to.
Right. And I've had parents, I mean, when I walk into a store or whatever, and the parent will look at their child and go, I'm gonna have him arrest you. And I'm going, no, I'm not. I'm not
Right,
gonna do
right.
that."
Or you better behave.
Yeah.
He's gonna watch you. You know, he's.
It happens all the time.
And it's like, don't say that to them.
No, I
And
know.
It just
and they
scares
just-
them.
And it does, and you're not there for that because we also, as parents, teach them, and we're going to use the Fairfield County Fairground for a perfect example. If you get lost, go to one of those guys.
Yes.
But you just told me not to go to one of those guys because I'm going to get in trouble. But-
Yes.
And it's easily
Yes.
confusing. So I just, as a parent myself and to another parent, just make sure that you're careful with the words that you choose to let the kid know the importance of our law enforcement. And they're there for, number one, to protect us
Correct.
and the kids. So, alrighty, so we're going to talk about, you have an event that's coming up. You had one a couple of years ago, and it was the very first one at Miller Pool. And oh my gosh, it was like, I believe 300 plus kids that ended up
Yes.
showing up at teen night.
Yes.
So you've got
Yes.
one coming up like
Yes.
this week.
Yes, July the 8th, between 7 and 11 at Miller Pool. We're sponsoring it with Lancaster City Parks, and we're hoping we get the same turnout. I mean, the last 2 years ago was huge. I mean, it was huge.
What are you doing to get the word out to folks?
The flyer, they've got flyers out. 2 years ago, we were able to get the flyers out sooner, and we were able to get them posted. I posted two in the junior highs, so
Okay.
that helped. But I think once the kids see it, the word will be out. So I
Yeah.
think we'll get the same amount of kids.
Because this year for the school, were you able to get anything in, or it wasn't open
No.
yet to be able to tell
No,
the kids?
we had talked about it, and I think we decided on the date. We just didn't have the flyers done.
Yeah.
So
okay.
nothing got
So you knew
posted.
the date. So if you're watching and you've got a teen, you got to let the kids know because it is what all is going to be there.
We got a DJ, Johnny Gerber, will be there. The legend,
Awesome. That's right.
the legend.
Do the kids know he's a legend? Like when he's there? I
Probably
mean,
not
you know.
them kids.
No,
I
mean, they're
not like
12.
we know they're a legend.
Correct.
Yeah, or he's a legend. yeah.
We got Army National Guard's going to be there with their jousting pit.
Oh, nice.
We'll have our crime scene unit there. The MRAP will be there. I got donations for hot dogs. We'll have popcorn, pizzas, drinks, and so forth for them.
Now, do you guys have forms of transportation for the kids to get there? I can't remember if they've worked together or not.
No.
No.
Nope.
So they can just walk over. What time is it?
7 to 11,
7 to 11. The ages again?
12 to 17.
12 to 17.
Correct.
Okay, 7 to
And
11.
that's PM, 7 PM.
Yes, yeah, don't drop the kids off at
Get that early in the morning.
in the
It won't
morning.
be
That
open.
would be awful. That would be terrible. Anything else that you wanted to share with what you
Um,
guys, how else you have coming up?
Oh, and then on Saturday, July the 10th, it is full though. We stopped taking reservations for that.
Oh, you did?
Registration, yes.
Okay.
We cut it off at 104 kids for a fishing tournament at Alley Park.
Okay.
I didn't want to go over that.
That's perfectly fine.
'Cause that's-
But what a success that is. So
Yes.
when do you start putting the word out about that for next year for kids that didn't get a chance to this year to be paying attention for it for next year?
hopefully-
Or will you do another one? Maybe you need to do another one?
That's going to be up to the parks.
Alrighty.
Because I only have, 3 or 4 weeks and I go back to school, so,
Oh, yeah.
after these events, so.
What do you do in your school resource officer? What do you do for preparing for the next year, being especially that's going to be different this year?
Not too much. I mean, I'll go back a week early before school starts to correspond with the teachers and the administration to see if we want to make any changes and so forth.
Alrighty.
But other than that, we'll be ready to go.
That sounds good. Anything else you wanted to add, Sergeant
Also
Castle?
on the 10th, we have the Hank Sarcoma Foundation, and that will be at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds.
Yes, and I've got Amy Carpenter coming up next. She's going to be the one to share with us about a lot of the details on that. And I may see you in a month or so to talk about the others when I have my other gal. I don't want to give it out yet, but we'll give it out here before too long. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me, and don't go anywhere because I've got treats for you. Folks, you don't go anywhere because I'm going to come back, and Amy and I are going to chat about what she's got going on. She's been doing something for, oh goodness, several years, and it was, as everything else, a little different last year, but it's back to what I call normal. We'll be back here in just a minute. It's Down Home with Tina.
Hi, I'm Amanda Wattenberg, Regional Director at Ohio Guidestone. Do you or does someone you know have a substance abuse disorder? Have you been thinking about getting help, but don't know where to start? It takes a lot of courage to ask for help, but it's the most important step you can take. If you think you know everything that's available in Fairfield County, think again. Like other chronic diseases, addiction can be managed successfully. Treatment enables people to counteract addiction's powerful, disruptive effects on the brain's behavior and regain control of their lives. Even if it takes multiple attempts, treatment does work and people do recover from addiction every day. So keep trying because your life matters. You matter, and we're here to help. Call 211 and ask for the treatment resources available right here in Fairfield County.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board. Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster. And we fell in love with the downtown area, where the fountain is, and the memorials, and the flags, and all this stuff. And we looked around, and I said, there's our bank, right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want to bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Down Home with Tina is brought to you by those amazing sponsors, and I want to thank you so much for watching. And folks, I've got a sponsor this month who is my Business of the Month, and it is Darfus Realty Century 21, and they've got a tip for you this month. And the tip is, selling your home, let go of your emotional attachment to your home. It's not what you see that matters, it's what the buyer sees. We at Darfus Realty Century 21 help sellers stage their homes so buyers will fall in love. So you just very well, if you want to sell that home, it is a seller's market right now, Amy. So you just very well might want to do that. But so I've got Amy Carpenter with me. She is with the Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation, and it is that time of year. And this year you get to really do stuff, and it's this weekend. Holy cow!
Yes.
And it's thank goodness. So what's happening?
Yes, so of course last year, because of COVID, we weren't able to do our race, and it was the 5th year. So we were really disappointed, but we're going to have bigger and better this year. So it's going to be at the Fairfield County Fairgrounds, and July 10th. Registration starts at 7:30. And then we have an opening ceremony at 8:30, and the actual race starts at 9. And then after the race, we have awards, and we're going to have the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office there, Lancaster Police Department, the Fire Department will be there. We have vendors, Fido. There's going to be some dog training going on. We also have bulldogs riding skateboards this year.
That's going to be
something
fun.
new we're doing.
That will be entertaining.
Right?
How has it been for you so far with the planning of everything? Was it kind of quick because we didn't know?
Right. Well, see, last year was so frustrating because I started planning it And then I was like, do I completely plan it? Do I not? But I didn't want to not plan something. So this year's been so much better, you know, because it was just last year I was just like in limbo, not knowing what to do. And so my website person, we were meeting last week and we were like, okay, now what did we do 2 years ago? Like it wasn't really that long, but it seemed like a long time ago since we'd actually kind of done all that. We were afraid we were missing something, you know, so.
I'm sure it's gonna be great. So folks just show up and register?
You can either go to our website, which is www.hankkabelsarcomafoundation.com. So you can either register there. If you do that before Tuesday at noon, it's $25. If you wait until the day of, it's $30.
Okay, all right. And so what else do you guys do? Because you do yard sales, I know, every month.
So I know that you recently interviewed the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office, and so something that we're doing, our 2022 calendar is going to be with the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Nice.
Since we have a new sheriff, Alex Late, he's going to be the cover of our calendar for 2022, and his 2 dogs. And then,
it's not just going to be him.
Right, exactly. Have to have the dogs.
That's
right.
That's right.
And then we have 12 other officers that's going to be in the calendar this year with their dogs.
How did you choose? I'm sure there's a lot more than 12.
So the first year we did a calendar just with Hank. He was like on the news 33 times. And then our very next year we did it with the sheriff's office. And a lot of my friends were like, you didn't put us in the first calendar. And I'm like, let's do a redo, another one. And especially since Alex is the new sheriff, I was like, well, he needs to be in there too. So basically I kind of just contacted people myself and said, hey, I know you have a dog. I put him on the spot. So be in this calendar, and pretty much everyone said they wanted to.
The funds for the race and the funds for the calendar, anything that you do, any fundraiser, because we'll talk about the yard sales as well. What do the funds go towards, Amy? What's it about?
Our mission is to raise money and awareness for canine cancer and sarcoma. So obviously we want to find a cure, so our funds go for that. And then my other big passion is to bring awareness, because as we've talked before, when Hank was diagnosed, I had no clue that dogs got cancer. I didn't know 1 in 3 dogs get cancer, 50% pass away. I had no clue what sarcoma was. And I actually went to a conference in Washington, D.C., and it was on canine cancer, and I forced myself to the podium, and I said, what can I do to make a difference? And they said, educate people. And they said, you're a teacher, so educate people. And so that's why I started the calendar. And it's just like a special thing in my heart because I didn't catch the signs. So I want to get the signs out there so other people know what to look for in their fur babies.
2 top signs. We've got a couple of minutes that folks need to watch out for.
So basically, like with Hank, he wouldn't eat his treats. So that was something very out of the normal. And problems going to the bathroom. And not drinking as much water.
So those are important ones to watch out for and get your dog to the vet to just make sure.
For a wellness check.
Amy, thank you so much
thank you for
taking the time.
Tina.
And folks, she's got yard sales. Follow you on Facebook, right? Yes. What is the Facebook page?
So it's just Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation on Facebook.
Awesome. Yay, and good luck to everything that you've got going on. Folks, I want to also, I'm out here on location at Lancaster Parks and Recreation. We are in the Lancaster Shelter House. There are 2 different ones. There's the Rising one and then there's the Lancaster one. And the Lancaster one, for record, is the one near the park where the kids play. Because I'm learning all that. I mean, I've been here forever, and now I know that for certain. So I want to thank Lancaster Parks and Recreation for being a sponsor and having me to get to do that. And I wish you a great week and blessings to you. And I hope you had a great 4th. I hope you have another, and get out there for teen night if you can. Get the kids out there for teen night. And I'll be back next week because you're going to see me. I'm still going to be at Lancaster Parks and Rec at Rising Park on location. And you're going to see me dressed, I'm going to call appropriately for a time to spend at the pond or for a hike or something like that. And I've got a really fun fishing story to share with you. I think that's all I've got. Folks, have a good one. God bless. Good day. You've been watching Down Home with Tina.